Hey guys, Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Getting very close to 800 subscribers. Please subscribe. It'd be great to have you on board checking out more of my videos and getting closer and closer to the 1000 video mark. But today, I want to talk about WandaVision and specifically the most recent episode of WandaVision, episode 5. I am going to be spoiling a very crucial plot point, so if you haven't seen it, maybe don't watch this video yet, but definitely add it to your watch later, so you still watch it later. In this video, I want to talk sort of about WandaVision, but I actually want to talk more about why WandaVision is making me more and more excited about the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because 2020, I felt, was actually a really, really refreshing year where I don't really think there were many Marvel films that came out. Well, I think there might have been one at the very start of the year, but other than that, after Endgame and Spider-Man Far From Home, like, Marvel kind of just stopped for a bit, and I think that was a really important break, whether or not it was to do with COVID. I know they pushed back a bunch of their movies, but I just think it was so saturated for so long leading up to Endgame, where there were like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 Marvel films coming out every year, and that was pretty much all I remember seeing in cinemas over the last 10 years. I know I saw more movies at cinemas, but Marvel was just saturating every part of the film market, and I think 2020 was a nice break from Marvel. It was just nice to not have to think about that world for a bit, and like, I will say that I am just a casual enjoyer of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I do think it is really cool, and like, I like to be in the know about it and engage with it, but I am not a hardcore fan by any means. And at first I was like not really that keen at all on watching WandaVision or any of the TV shows. I didn't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I haven't really watched any of the other Marvel Cinematic Universe shows, but I gave WandaVision a shot and I thought it was really, really good, and I've been sort of hotly awaiting it every weekend when it comes out here in Australia, just so I can, check it out and watch it and get the next bit of the story. This is sort of the bridge between where the MCU has been into where it is going now, and the reason it excites me so much is this ending that we saw at the end of the most recent episode. If you have seen it, you obviously know this big plot point where Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the X-Men film franchise, the Fox X-Men film franchise, appeared as Quicksilver Pietro at the door at the end. And one of the characters remarks that Wanda has recast Quicksilver, and she has recast him to what we can only think is Quicksilver from the other X-Men 20th Century Fox universe. It's actually kind of confusing to think about because there are layers and layers of meta going on here. So if you don't know, the reason that the X-Men haven't yet featured in the MCU is because the rights to the X-Men are owned by Fox Studios, I believe, not Marvel Film Studios, so they couldn't involve them in there. But that X-Men franchise is really hanging by their thread, so I think commercially it makes a lot of sense to try and integrate the X-Men brand into the MCU, which is exceptionally profitable. The last X-Men film, Dark Phoenix, unless you count the New Mutants, but both of them were critical and commercial flops, and it seems like most people are no longer really interested in seeing that X-Men world. Logan with Hugh Jackman's last performance as Wolverine was such an incredible film, and that was a film that he decided was the last time he was ever going to play Wolverine. And that was probably the last time that X-Men franchise was good at all, in my opinion. So the importance of having Evan Peters appear at the end here sort of opens the door up for perhaps this multiverse kind of theory being true. This is also pretty apparent by the fact that Doc Ock from Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 is cast as Doc Ock in the next Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man film in the MCU, as well as Jamie Foxx, who played Electro in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man rendition. I think it's all but confirmed now that that third Spider-Man entry with Tom Holland is almost definitely going to be a multiverse, Spider-Verse kind of thing. The next Doctor Strange movie is called Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So I think, and I've seen a lot of fan theories online about this, that something to do with the blip caused some kind of tear in the multiverse, and now different characters from different iterations or universes of Marvel films are leaking into the one that we are in now in the MCU, which I actually think is really, really cool, and I am so excited about it. It also gets me thinking about how the X-Men could be integrated into the MCU and who else we could see. There's a tease for a really big reveal coming up. Some people are speculating it could be Magneto from the Fox X-Men series. It could maybe be Wolverine as Hugh Jackman, although I think that'd be an extremely expensive thing to get. But I would love to see Hugh Jackman return as Wolverine in the MCU. I think that would be absolutely massive, and I think it would just be such a huge, huge reveal if it did happen. As well as different franchises like the Fantastic Four, who I actually really like, but there's never really been an amazing Fantastic Four movie. It'd be great to see what Marvel Studios could do with them and see if they could do it right and characterize them really well and use the superpowers really well. I actually don't mind those first two live-action Fantastic Four films, Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer. Like, I actually didn't think they were too bad, but I don't think that we're going to see that universe be a part of the MCU. I don't think they're going to come back because they weren't very popular, and also Chris Evans plays the Human Torch in that universe, and obviously he's Captain America here, so that could be really weird. I really don't think that's going to happen, but I do really want to see the Fantastic Four and the X-Men come into the MCU as it is now. So I guess my point is that I wasn't too excited about the next phase of Marvel because I was like, oh, it's so saturated, and I'm kind of glad it's gone away. I'm not too keen on seeing any more of these movies, especially because Endgame wrapped up some of the biggest names in that franchise so well. A lot of their story arcs finished and they're gone as characters now, I suppose. But WandaVision, and particularly this appearance of the Fox X-Men Quicksilver, has totally reignited my excitement for it. This new Spider-Man movie is just going to be so exciting if the theories are true, and it is going to be a multiverse, Spider-Verse kind of thing. I think that is going to be absolutely awesome. Plus, as I said, the Doctor Strange movie, The Multiverse of Madness, kind of leans into the fact that the multiverse thing is happening. It was even touched upon by Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home. I believe he talked about being from a multiverse even though he was lying, but I think that was a hint towards us that that is what is to come in this franchise. So that's sort of where I'm at with it. I'm so excited to keep watching WandaVision, but I hope we get a few more answers soon as to exactly what Wanda is doing. But I really, really like this show, and I can't wait for these new movies. I think the Spider-Man one is supposed to come out this year, and that is going to be hugely exciting because especially the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I absolutely love those movies. I even like Spider-Man 3. I think it's really good. So yeah, really, really excited and cautious about where the MCU is headed next. I think we've had a good break from it. It went away for a bit. We didn't really have to think about it, but now it's coming back, and I think it is possibly going to be bigger and better than ever before. So let me know what you think. Comment below. Why do you think Quicksilver is back? What do you think is going to happen in WandaVision? Do you think we're getting a live-action Spider-Verse movie with the next Spider-Man? And what are you most excited for in the MCU? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, everything. Catch you later. Thanks for watching.
I went to run my hand through your hair and I noticed you were attached to string. You were a puppet this whole time, you were attached to string.